everyone, and welcome back to our channel, my Kiwinoy fam. If this is your first time in our channel, then please do click that subscribe button and hit the bell as well so you don't miss any of our videos. If you're wondering what our channel is all about before you do click that subscribe button, we share videos about life in New Zealand, what it is to live here, also being a migrant here, all the culture and practices that you need to know and learn, the language differences, things to see here and things to do as well. And hopefully all of these videos that we share will be able to help at least one of you to have a very smooth transition when you do come over to New Zealand as a migrant or even just a visitor. So for this video, I will be sharing to you the top 3 things that you need to remember when completing any document or any form here in New Zealand. And remember, when it comes to documents, these are legal papers, so you don't want to get it wrong. And also some of them you can't really change. So if you think this video is right for you, then keep watching. Okay, so right on top of our list of the things that you need to remember when completing documents in New Zealand is choosing the right title for you. Unlike in other countries wherein you only get about 2 or 3 options of the title, here in New Zealand you do get a few. So you have Mr., Mrs., Miss and Miss. For the Mr. and Mrs., we don't have any problems with that. Everyone knows what it means and you can't really get that wrong. But when it comes to Miss versus Miss, that's where the confusion arises. So when do you use Miss? So you use this title when you are unmarried, you're single, and it can also be used to any young female. Whereas for Miss, this is used when the marital status is unknown or if the marital status is out of context. Let's say you are neither married nor single, so you would use Miss. But nowadays as well, Miss is commonly used as a term or a sign of respect. So for example, you are addressing someone with a non-marital status or you don't know their marital status, then the safest thing to use would be Miss, because this is more likely than not a sign of respect and the marital status is out of context. So that's the first one, guys, choosing the right title for you between Mr., Mrs., Miss and Miss. And the top 2 of the things that you need to remember when completing documents in New Zealand is the concept of the middle name. So this one can get very confusing, especially if you came from a country which is very Americanized, like of course the Philippines. So in the Philippines, when you say middle name, it is actually your mother's maiden name or your mother's surname when she wasn't married yet. But here in New Zealand, when they say middle name, they are meaning your second first name. So for example, for my daughter, her full name is Lily Alice Yalong Hari. Yalong is my surname when I wasn't married yet, therefore that is her middle name if we were in the Philippines. But here in New Zealand, her middle name is the Alice, which is her second first name. So I hope that was clear enough. I know it can get very confusing, but you do get used to it. And this is one of the things that I wish I knew before I started completing any documents here in New Zealand. Like, let's say, for example, my driver's license. Because I didn't know that in New Zealand, your middle name is your second first name. When I did my form to apply for my driver's license, of course, I did it the Philippines way. So under the first name section, I wrote there Alyssa Elaine, which is my given names, and then on the middle name section I wrote there my mother's maiden name. So on my driver's license now, my mother's maiden name is actually included to my given names or to my first names, and of course I can't undo that anymore. I probably can, but it will be a long process of paperwork and I don't really want to deal with that, and also it will cost you to get your name on your driver's license changed. So I guess I'll just have to live with it. But the only annoying thing is that for anything and everything that I do, when it asks for a legal ID, it will always be my driver's license. So I guess I just have to remember that every time they ask for my given name, and if I know that the ID that I'll be providing is my driver's license, then I have to include my mother's maiden name to my given names, which sounds really weird, but never mind. And the third and last thing that I will be sharing to you guys in this video is how we write our dates. The American way of writing the date, of course, which is what I'm used to, is that you always go with the month first, followed by the day and the year. In New Zealand, we go the day first, followed by the month and the year. So most forms, they will actually tell you which one to write first, but there are also other forms which won't tell you which one to write first. So you just have to remember that in a document that you're signing in New Zealand, when it asks for a date, you must always go with the day first, the month, followed by the year. And that's the end of our video for today, guys. It's just a short one, but I hope you found it very helpful and that you'll get to use it in the near future. Thank you again for tuning in our channel, and we'll see you on our next video. Bye!